Hey guys, welcome back to Dan's Pro Shop, where everything's made up and the instructions don't matter. Today, we're going into the automotive side. For those of you that don't know my background a little bit, I was a tech for a lot of years before I got into what I do now. I was a heavy equipment mechanic, I was a car mechanic, I was a truck mechanic. I kind of did the whole thing until I realized, hey, this may not be for me. So I went ahead and went through the whole engineering thing, got the degree, and now that's where I'm at now. But this stuff is still a huge part of my life because I take pride in taking care of my stuff. And whenever I have an issue, I try to do it myself. So this guy right here is an emissions smoke machine by Ancel, the S300. So if you guys are unfamiliar with what these things are, they pump smoke through your evap system or even like a tailpipe or anything. Something that you're trying to find an air leak, but you can't see it because it's air. This thing produces smoke so you can push it through that system and visually see what's happening. So let's go ahead and rip this thing apart and see what it's all about. So guys, like I said, this thing is from Ancel and it's an automotive diag smoke tester. So we're going to get into this thing so you guys can see physically what it looks like, what it does. Oh, hey, look, we got a box inside of a box. How nice is that? Okay. File that with the important stuff. Keep going here. There we go. There's the prize. There's our basic. Man, this thing is nice and small. I don't. If you guys have ever used one of these things before, like these things have been around forever. This is nothing new, but I had a Snap-on one for the longest time, and that thing was freaking huge. It was probably at least 4 inches in every dimension bigger than this one. And one of the biggest problems I found is that there's probably a hook that goes in here. Hold on. Yeah. All right. There's a hook that screws into here. And you would hang this on the hood latch of your car. Well, that Snap-on one is so darn heavy that these newer cars with the struts instead of like the big springs, this thing was so heavy it would close the hood. So you would either have to prop the hood up somehow or find somewhere to put this thing. But since this is really nice and light, I'm willing to bet that that isn't an issue. And another really cool thing that I'm seeing here is my Snap-on one had to take shop air. Like there was a fitting on the side where you would plug your hose into, and that's what would create the whole flow thing. This doesn't have that. That's telling me right off the bat that there is a little electric pump in here that creates the airflow. And then you have the heat to make the smoke and all that. But just that one little thing, this is self-contained. It's just battery power from the vehicle that you're working on, and it doesn't require shop air. That's one less thing you have to do. I tell you what, I haven't even turned it on, and I'm liking it better already. Let's keep digging through the box and see with all the accessories here. Oh, this is nice. See, this is like a blood pressure cuff. This thing, so it'll like blow up and expand and fill like your intake pipe, or even if you shove this in like the exhaust pipe of a car to check for an exhaust leak. Check it out. You blow this up, so it'll fill whatever pipe you're trying to leak test, and then, dude, that's nice. I know we're going to use that. And a replacement bladder for this thing. So in case you get a little crazy and blow it up, there you go. Just the regular hose here, the fitting that screws onto the machine, then just like a universal cone. Oh, look at here. Bet you this is an exhaust pipe one. So you see the hose here. You would just press it on to the cone of this one and then jam this whole thing into the exhaust pipe of a car. And it's a nice low durometer rubber, so like it'll really stick into whatever you're putting it into. Oh, look here, we have a nice assortment of plastic caps. Because if you guys know, if you're checking for an evap leak, more than often it's a vacuum leak on the intake side of the engine. So sometimes you have to disconnect stuff to get access to it. And you can use these things to plug off ports, pipes, hoses, whatever you need. But you need to really seal the system so you know what you're looking for. This is just a nice little add-on that I wasn't expecting. Oh, and then we have a funnel here for filling up the reservoir. That's nice. Just a little something to keep you from making a mess whenever you're filling it up. Alright, so we're going against protocol, and I'm looking at the booklet here. And it says to fill the reservoir with low density mineral oil or baby oil. Well, I already have mineral oil laying around because we use it around for the shop for different things. So let's go ahead, fire this thing up and see what we got. Now, if you guys are like, hey Dan, why do you have mineral oil just laying around the shop? This is actually a really good lubricant for O-rings and different like Buna type stuff because it's really safe, so you know it won't mess up the rubber at all. Pro tip. So you see back here, there is a sight glass for the reservoir. So we're simply just going to top this old girl off until we see it come up in that reservoir. Cool, that thing holds a good bit. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the power pack since I don't have the car right here, just to get us a 12 volt DC source so we can run this thing. Yeah, we got a trusty JNC 660. The end all be all. I absolutely love this thing. So, I suppose first things first, we'll hook up the hose here, just so we have that on and out of the way. Now guys, there is an O-ring inside of this brass fitting here I'm seeing. Make sure that this thing is seated whenever you put it on. You don't want to have an air leak in your air leak finder machine. Alright, go down till you feel its seat. And let's hook up for some gigawatts. I tell you what, man, I really can't express how cool it is that this one doesn't require shop air to run. But all the ones I've used in the past, you had to have shop air. All right, let's turn her on. See the gauge here? Whenever I plug it with my thumb, the gauge goes up, letting me know that there's pressure in the system. And the peak flow here, this shows you flow in the system. See how it's down to nothing? Now my flow is really high, my pressure is really low. Now the pressure is going to go up, the flow is going to go down. This is one thing that really helps you with your diagnostics, so you can see what's going on with your air system. Man, that is handy. Okay, so now we have the internal pump running. Let's go past the center portion on the switch and go to number 2, which I can only assume would be the pump and the smoke. We're watching this together for the first time, guys. So I've never seen this thing run either. You see here the indication that the heater is on and running. The pump is on and running. Oh, she's coming. You see? Let's leave this thing cranked open so we have the maximum flow. Hey, it just keeps getting more and more. It's intensifying as we wait here. Whoa. I tell you what, that's actually pretty impressive. For a little guy like this thing, I mean, this is no more than probably 6-7 inches tall, maybe 4 inches deep, and it's completely self-contained. That is impressive, the amount of smoke that this thing puts out. And when you're finished, you simply just shut it off. Everything calms down on its own, and then you wrap it up and put it back on the shelf and have it ready for next time.
Well, guys, I didn't just run off and change clothes on you. It's a new day because this stuff takes time and it's hard to get it all done at once. So, we're here at the family truckster. I got the smoke machine hanging from the hood, like I said earlier. I know this one has a legit prop and not struts, but still, this thing is nice. It's small, it's not very heavy, it's really user-friendly. So the plan is, since I take care of my stuff, I don't currently have an evap leak, but that's what we're going to go ahead and look for. So, for the sake of simplicity here, we're going to take that fancy inflator bulb attachment thing that you saw earlier, and I'm just going to put it right on the intake side of my air box, right in front of the mass airflow sensor. We're going to go ahead and pump this intake full of smoke and see if it comes out anywhere. So first things first, we'll take the hose coming off of the main unit here, just shove it in the back of this inflator guy. And in here, I know you can't see it, I'm sorry, this isn't the best angle here, but I'm simply just going to inflate this thing right into the intake pipe, right in front of the mass airflow sensor. And once that's all good and blown up, we should be ready to go. So we'll just take this nice long power lead here, ground, hot, and let's start smoking. So guys, you can see here I got everything hooked up, and I have that bulb blown up right into the intake pipe. And that thing has been pumping smoke into the intake side of the engine for quite a while now, and I've yet to see anything. Well guys, this may not be the greatest example of testing for a leak because I don't currently have one, but you can see here how easy this is and how modular it can be with the different attachments and stuff. Like that air bladder thing, I just think it's really cool. Or you have this cone thing, this big rubber cone that you can shove this into a tailpipe or anything and everything, honestly. I mean, something like this is invaluable when you have that crazy, stupid little evap leak that you just can't find.
So guys, when it's all said and done, what do I think? I think this thing is an absolute banging deal for what you get and what you're spending. This Ancel S300 is an absolutely screaming deal, and it's a quality product. And like I've been preaching this whole video, the very fact that it doesn't take shop air to run, and all you need to do is hook it up to the car battery that you're working on. Dude, look how nice and little compact this is. This will even fit in the bottom drawer of your toolbox. Like, if you guys have used these things before, this is proof positive that they have gotten better. This is a better way to do that. And this is one of these tools that you won't use all of the time, but man, when you need one, you freaking need one. And this can keep you from pulling your hair out when you have that crazy code for an evap leak that you just can't find. So do yourself a favor. If you're into this kind of stuff, go ahead, check out the link in the description below and see how you can get one of these things for yourself. I know you won't regret it. We will see you guys next time.